I'm Ira Glass. I'm the host of the radio show This American Life, which this week becomes a television show on the Showtime network. This is something we really, when we began this, we had no interest in doing television at all. Showtime came to us, and it's funny because I was just looking back, like, when did this happen? And they came to us in 2002. Is the first email I could find, and for the first year of it, we just thought, like, nah, who cares? Like, we're not going to do TV, and we really just tried to blow them off, and we kept saying to them, we don't want to do TV unless somebody could explain to us, like, how you could convert this radio show into TV, like, how could it be done, and Showtime, they were very persistent, and they hooked us up with amazing filmmakers, and we moved forward slowly, but we moved forward. When we went into this, I mean, I have to say, like, you know, we were public broadcasters, and so we were very suspicious of this commercial network. And, you know, like, for a long time, we kept waiting for them to say, like, yeah, this is good. But when do the girls take off their tops? And that never happened. I mean, truthfully, like, the biggest surprise was that doing the show for Showtime was exactly like doing the radio show. You know, it's a smaller network. You know, it's more of a boutique-y kind of network, and what they needed or wanted from us anyway was just something that would be distinctive. You know, they just said, like, make it unusual, make it great, make it seem like nothing else on TV, and that was our goal too. And they never, like, honestly, like they never asked us to do anything that we didn't want to do. Like, it was just very, very friendly, easy collaboration. To our surprise, I mean, we started off, like, suspicious, and I feel like we felt exactly the same freedom as we feel in making the radio show. Converting the show to television was just, like, an incredibly disturbing challenge. Yes, it was very, very difficult. I mean, partly, like, I remember the TV guys who we were working with would tell us, like, well, usually when you do a show, like, there's some parts of the format which exist. You know, if you're doing a reality show, you know, you're going to have handheld cameras, and it'll be this many people shooting, and it'll be this many weeks you do it. And with this, like, everything was up for grabs. We really had to invent everything, including the question of, should you even see me as the host of the show? On the radio, you know, obviously I host the show, and you don't see me, and there's a certain power to never being seen. And we fought, actually, the staff, or fought is maybe a strong word, but we argued for a long time about, like, what would be better, you know, what would be better, to see the host or not to see the host. And in the end, we decided you probably needed to see me, otherwise it would be a little artsy. And then designing a look for the show. Designing a look for the show is one of the biggest challenges of the whole thing. The radio show gets a lot of its power just from the invisibility of radio, the fact that you're making up the pictures in your head. And there's a kind of dreaminess to it, or you know, it gives the story, like, a kind of dreamy quality, and so to keep the feeling of that for TV, it was a real challenge to figure out, how do you shoot it and what does it look like. And in the end, the cinematographer and the director of the show, they came up with this look where it's shot in widescreen, and the camera is very still. It's always on a tripod. It's not sort of handheld in the way, like, you'll see in a documentary or a reality show, and they just designed this look that looks like nothing else on TV, and so it's the sort of thing where we have these very dramatic stories about everyday people, but shot like a movie. I mean, one of the most surprising things in making the jump from radio to TV is in a way, like, one of the stupidest things. Like, if you would ever think about it, like, of course this would be true, and that is that when we started, I had no idea. Like, I honestly had no idea that the pictures could add anything to the stories. Like, and not because I was a snob about TV. Like, I love TV, but I had worked my whole life in radio, and never felt like there was anything missing. You know what I mean? Like, I never was out on a story and thought, like, well, if only I had pictures, I could really get this across. And we were shooting our very first story, and the story is about this guy who loves this bull, and the bull dies, and he basically tries to bring the bull back from the dead, and succeeds. With cloning technology, these scientists at Texas A&M University create an exact duplicate of his favorite animal, and then when we were out there, the animal tried to kill him, and he's in the hospital, and there's this one shot at the end of the story where he's in the hospital, and he's all beat up, like, this animal has kicked his ass, really, and nearly killed him. And he gives this very heartfelt speech about how he's going to get out there, and he's going to make this right with this animal. And in the radio, in the radio version of that story, like, it would be totally moving. He's a great talker. He's a great guy. But on TV, there comes this moment where this look of utter weariness crosses his face. Just gets this look on his face at the end of saying it. And I remember we were in the editing room. I was like, oh wow, like, look at that. Like seeing his face just adds so much. Like, you understand him so much better and what he's feeling. And I remember feeling like it had never occurred to me that seeing people's faces would in any way make the story better. Like I was completely naive. Like, up until that moment, it had never occurred to me that would be something that would make the stories more powerful. There's 6 episodes in the series, and we actually, the network wanted us to do more, but as people who we had full-time jobs making a weekly radio show, so we kept it fewer just so we could keep our radio show on the air. And there are all kinds of stories. I mean, the thing that we do is, it's stories about everyday people, but the people in very unusual situations usually. So for example, one of the stories is about a 14-year-old boy who has just decided that love is a scam. And he's looked around at his friends. He's in 8th grade. His friends falling in love and getting crushes and getting their hearts broken. He's just like, okay, that's it. I'm out. And has to deal with the consequences of that. Or another story is about a group of senior citizens who have decided in their 60s and 70s and 80s, like, okay, that's it. We are going to make a movie. Like, we're going to make a movie. We're going to try to get it into the Sundance Film Festival. And that story is partly about just the process of watching them do this thing for the first time, like these complete beginners. But part of it is about like what can you do when you're that old? What can you do when you're at that age? Is it even like, what does it mean to try to learn a whole new craft? After retirement, and to try to make that happen for yourself. So there's all sorts of stuff. Well, we always called it, like, in trying to describe the radio show, it was always sort of hard to describe it, and we always sort of said, like, well, it's like movies for radio. It's like little movies for radio. And so I feel like the notion that we finally added the pictures and it's filmed like a movie, it's widescreen, it's beautiful. Like, it does feel like it was kind of meant to happen.